I've been always interested in doing art ever since I was small, but I didn't know what art was and what it meant. It was this kind of thing I always did. So especially my spare time, I was the only child, so I always was doing something, always drawing, making stuff, putting things together. So it was always there. It wasn't until as an adult that I made a conscious decision to really make this as a life, as a career, of doing it for real. Once they were enrolled to the ideal of this concept, which is all in a day. Pretty much, it was sort of like go for it. And some of them are like part of a scene from in the background, like I said, at the park. Some parts of it like kids are playing. Some are like they're kind of like looking into the street, and sort of like like someone said oh, I know that person. They're familiar because pretty much a lot of images here are people that have always been around in the area. They're seeing like activities happening here at the school, like for instance the football game, or the time when at the park there was the African marketplace, festival, and so I would have all these different things that were so related to, that's important about what's happening now through the years. So when many years from now, it's like, well, wow, it's like these are people that actually lived here, about here. I mean, when I look at these old historical, sculptures and murals and stuff that I study in our history books, they were recording people at that time that they were here. So I decided I want to do that for this community, to kind of record them right now as it's happening in 2013. I would say the favorite thing actually is like when I get a chance to talk to people about it, when people ask me questions about it, or I meet people and stuff. Because especially like one of the things I would say, like when I'm in a classroom, I said when I'm doing my introduction to students, and I talk about what I do, and one of the first things I talk about is some of the public artworks. Because they'll see my works in slides and pictures and stuff like that, but what happens is really interesting is that when I talk about like I did this work over at this station, or over at this park, or this library, most of the time somebody in that classroom has actually seen it or been there, experienced it, and so it kind of connects me with them immediately. I had in the pieces Dale Davis. Dale Davis is an artist. Him and his brother started the Brockman Gallery during the late 60s, early 70s in the Leimert Park area. And so, but the other part was that he was a art teacher here at Dorsey High School for many years. And so I wanted to kind of make sure I wanted to include him or people like him, because he was such an integral part in the arts and culture in the city, and he was working right next to the station, for many years. So he was a great impact, and also he's a friend of mine too. So it was really cool to get a chance to really create a project where I can include someone like that. There's nothing better for a creative person to be able to create something, that didn't exist before, and now is put into the public eye, and it is also put in the eye, like I said, in this case, in a permanent manner. It is gratifying, because it's sort of like, it will always be here. It may always raise questions like, who's that person? What's this about? And I think when artists raise questions, it makes the experience that much more important.